3 years since my last dosage of Effexa. 8.5 years since I was first severely injured after a cold turkey attempt, which felt as though a bomb had gone off in my brain. Unfortunately, I reinstated the drug and I drew out a long taper which lasted many years. And that was the worst mistake of my life. But I'm still breathing, I'm still fighting, and I'm still here to tell my story. Unfortunately, I have a 2-in-1 injury. Not only do I have a severe protracted injury, I also have toxic encephalopathy, or drug toxicity injury on top of that. I often feel like a recluse. I feel like my level of harm is on another stratosphere because it's so severe. And I do often feel disrespected at times, in the harm community. I'm going to have a bit of a rant today, but this is just what I feel in my heart, in my mind. A lot of people will, go to these so-called coaches or experts who've had, 12 to 18 months of their life hindered. I'm not sure about how the severity of it, but these people, will tell you, to work on your mindset, work on yourself. When in fact, the people that are severely harmed, severely injured, are just trying to get through the day. They're just trying to survive. Giving that sort of advice, to someone is like going up to someone in a wheelchair and saying, stand up and start running. It's just, it's just ludicrous, but this is what some of these people tell people that are severely harmed. These are the people that I represent. Put some of these so-called experts, withdrawal experts, that, have had hundreds of symptoms and they magically heal overnight. Put some of these people into my body and many others out there, for a day or two, and they'll soon learn that this is different gravy. This is a different ball game. This level of injury is doesn't even compare. My channel isn't the Disney Channel, guys. This is recovery from severe harm, severe injury. To put it into context, I had a protracted withdrawal injury myself, and that entailed withdrawal-induced psychosis, electrical shocks through the brain, the inability to walk in a straight line, and so many other things. And even then I was able to train and to work out. I can't even do that now. But these people have their year in withdrawal. If what I experienced, they experienced 1/4 of that, I'd be scared for them. So the level of harm and injury is so, it doesn't even compare, and it shouldn't be spoken about in the same light. I'd have sort of that, withdrawal here, acute, protracted withdrawal, which can go on for over half a decade. Then we have toxic encephalopathy. I'm a combination of the two, so I'm up here, and someone with their year in withdrawal, they're sort of down here. So the level of harm that I've gone through is on another, it's on another level. I don't want to continue to knock, these sorts of people, in our community, but the thing that concerns me is that if people go to these people, it might discourage them because, they're not healing as fast. And also people that are severely protracted or that have severe drug toxicity injuries, they're not going to heal in a year or 18 months. So, their caregivers, their partners, their parents, might put a lot of pressure on them to, how come she's healing in a year or 18 months? Why aren't you? What's wrong with you? Maybe you need to go back to the doctor. Maybe you need to go on more meds. And we all know where this is going. And, this is what concerns me. But you know, I will give these, you know, I'm going to give these guys their flowers. You know, they, you know, had a year of withdrawal and they recovered. At least they're giving them their time, you know, and you know, their time and expertise. But they don't have to, you know. If I'd only sort of lost a year of my life or 18 months, I wouldn't be giving my time. I'd be getting on with my life and forgetting about it and moving on. But you know, someone in my position who's lost 8.5 years of his life, I don't have that option. You know, I have to raise awareness. I have to continue to make videos because I don't want people as severely harmed as I am. I don't want people losing, you know, 5, 10, 15 years of their life. You know, it's just not on. So, you know, I have to continue to do this, and I feel it's my duty to do so. So it's not all negative today, guys, but, you know, I am going to speak about negative symptoms. So, again, it's all, you know, it's all neurological, it's all cognitive impairment. Still having a lot of that burning pressure, sort of in that temporal lobe, you know, into my ears. I have, like, it seems like I have like dementia symptoms. I'm very forgetful, cognitively severely impaired, very severe sound sensitivities, still having a lot of exhaustion, having a lot of sort of floaters in my eyes, vision problems. But, you know, again, the thing that really concerns me is my noggin, is what is up here, and that's what I'm worried about. But we'll get on to it. So that, you know, the positives I'm experiencing, my sleep is a little bit better, my exercise tolerance is a little bit better. I can go and kick a ball, I can do a bit of running, I can do press-ups. My recovery is a lot faster. There's a lot to memorize, guys, so I'm just trying to go over it. You know, my sleep is slowly improving, getting up to about 5 hours a night. Still not great, but, you know, it's slowly improving. I've actually noticed I've had a smile and a laugh organically, which hasn't felt forced for the first time in nearly 20 years. So that's something to be positive about. And I'm also experiencing a lot of anger in my body, and, you know, which is an emotion. And, you know, a year ago I didn't experience anger, I just felt numb because the toxicity induced injury was so severe. But now I'm experiencing anger and hatred for what has been done to me, and, you know, I'm using that as a positive because I can fuel that to make content, to make videos, and to help people. So, and to keep moving forward in my journey through this injury. So yeah, one more thing, I'm also trying HBOT, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So I'm going to be doing, I've had one session, and I'm going to be doing that aggressively over the next year. So I'll keep you updated. So that's it for me today, guys. You know, enjoy the rest of the year. I hope that you can have a good Christmas, holidays with your family. I hope that you're not suffering too much, and I will see you in the new year. Thanks for watching me, thanks for supporting me, and yeah, much appreciated. See you soon. Cheers, guys.